Hi, I'm Rob Kristen, a licensed real estate agent and founder of S.O.S Property Solutions. Today I'll be talking to you about foreclosure defense and the amazing new strategies to help homeowners in distress and the opportunity to make a $500 referral fee per client to you, the realtor. Before I get started, I would like to give a little bit about my background. I was born and raised in Brevard County, Florida. After proudly serving in the Marine Corps, I settled back home with my amazing wife and 3 beautiful children. In 2005, I got my real estate license, and in 2006, I started to realize that there was going to be a lot more foreclosures coming in the near future. At the time, I was working with all investors as buyers. So I started doing research on how to list the REO properties. I spoke with all the local REO agents, and they gave me no information other than do BPOs. So I started searching the internet and found Anthony Aries' REO kit, which back then was called the BPO kit. After purchasing the REO kit, I had phenomenal success, and at the same time, I was rehabbing houses. I trained a team to take over the BPOs for me because the rehabs were taking up too much of my time, and I was more interested in becoming a real estate investor than an agent. In fact, my team still completes 50 to 60 BPOs a week from 4 different companies every day, every week. I have completed short sales as an agent. I've done short sales as an investor, and I think that they're a big crapshoot, and they're not the best use of time for agents. After learning what I'm about to tell you, I came to the realization that they are not in the best interest of the clients either. I have worked with loan modification companies who were never able to accomplish anything for my clients and was tired of beating my head against the wall. In my research of options for homeowners, including myself, who is currently $45,000 upside down in my personal house, I was first introduced to foreclosure defense by a fellow member of the Winner Circle Mastermind Group, which is a mastermind group that consists of all of the top real estate gurus and marketers in the country. He had interviewed over 100 attorneys and had 2 years of research to put this program together to save people's homes. They uncovered that many of the lenders violated RESPA, TILA, HOPA, contract, and tort laws. And in the federal court system, fraud cases have no statute of limitations. And fraud penalties are triple damages per violation, not only on the money that the homeowner has been defrauded on so far, but on the money the homeowner would have been defrauded over the whole 30-year loan. But before I get into the program, I need to explain the root of the problem, which you are probably very aware of some or all that I'm about to tell you. So bear with me, because it's important to understand the whole process that make up the market that we all work in today. In the early 2000s, after Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac had internal issues, and the lenders needed somebody else to back their loans, the only group that was big enough was Wall Street. So they came up with the idea of separating the notes from the mortgages and selling the notes in bundles as unsecured securities. You see, after a note is separated from a mortgage, it becomes an unsecured security because it's no longer secured by the mortgage. Because the notes were no longer secured by mortgages, the banks wanted to be able to track the purchases of these notes and came up with the MIRS, which stands for Mortgage Electronic Registration System. In fact, we have somebody in the program right now who was on the board that helped develop that program. And she said that the idea behind it was fantastic. Because the notes were being sold so fast and so many times, they wanted a system that could track all of them, that you could go into this system, any bank, anywhere in the world, and track the whole, sale and purchase of that note. The problem was it was controlled by a private company who scanned in the legal mortgage documents and then made the biggest mistake of all time. They shredded the original documents. And you know as well as I know that copies of illegal documents are not a substitute for the originals. Would you believe that 60% of the mortgage documents in this country have been shredded? As the market continued to climb to the peak, Wall Street could not keep up with the demand for these notes, so the subprime market was created. However, The lenders knew that with every peak comes a crash. The lenders came up with a plan and started taking out insurance policies, also called derivatives or credit default swaps, on the mortgages for 20 to 30 times the original loan value without the homeowner's knowledge. These policies are only paid if the property forecloses. During the peak, the banks were raking in the money because of the home loans that were being funded by investors, which meant the banks did not even own the loans. They were just servicing company, collecting closing costs, monthly servicing fees, and receiving tax benefits from the IRS. In a recent article, Bank of America admitted they don't own over 90% of the mortgages that they service. In all 50 states, the only person who can foreclose on you is the owner or holder of the note. These notes have been sold so many times, in most cases the banks have no idea who owns the note. I want you to think about something. In fact, there are many cases right now of homeowners who have made their last payment on their mortgage, and the bank cannot produce title to their property because they don't know who owns the note. Can you imagine paying on your loan for 30 years and the bank saying, "Sorry, we don't know where the title is. Contact the government. Maybe they can help you." It's insane. And you can track this on the internet. There's many cases of this exact scenario. As you probably remember, the bank stopped all foreclosures on October 8th of 2010. They stopped foreclosures for 1 week because of improper documentation and robo-signing. What you probably didn't know is that during that week they never stopped the filings for new foreclosures. They only temporarily stopped the auctions. There was almost 6,000 foreclosure files per day per person being signed with no regard to accuracy or whether or not the lender actually owns the mortgage. In fact, the vast majority of mortgages are missing the necessary documents required to take your home away. These missing documents were sometimes being fraudulently reproduced by either the lender or the foreclosing attorney's office. These outrageous actions have been raising questions among our congressmen and senators, who are now starting to call for all-out mortgage fraud investigations. In fact, all 50 states' attorneys have investigations going on right now into this very problem, not only against the banks, but against the attorneys who represent them as well. Due to this win-win situation that these callous banks have created, they win whether the homeowner pays on the loan or defaults on the loan, but they would much rather see them in default. The problem is that 60% of short sales are being denied. And with 60% of the short sales being denied and 97% of loan modifications being denied, there are very few reliable options for the homeowner. By the way, the bank does not stop the foreclosure clock from ticking during these negotiations. Most people just walk away from their home, which is the worst thing that they can do, because most states will issue a deficiency judgment, which is where the bank will legally sue them for the difference between what they bought the property for and what they sold the property for. And this can haunt homeowners for years to come. The options that most homeowners are unaware of is the fact that 83% of the mortgages in this country contain fraud. If you can uncover this fraud, you can use it to negotiate with the bank to accomplish their goals. You can sometimes turn a bad situation into a windfall profit for the homeowner. Unfortunately, most of the attorneys do not understand all the laws and details pertaining to foreclosure defense. They can only provide a temporary band-aid fix to a problem that will have to be dealt with at a later time. Our foreclosure defense program consists of having a forensic loan audit of the original mortgage transaction by professionals in this field, and then having the results reviewed by attorneys who know how to prosecute lenders for fraud. These violations can be used by experienced attorneys to leverage anything from a simple mortgage modification to possibly owning your property free and clear of any mortgages, along with tens and thousands of dollars in punitive damages. The best case scenario is that the homeowner will have a large lawsuit against the bank, which could mean the title of their home free and clear. The other scenario is that the attorneys will leverage the violations that the banks did make for a principal and interest rate reduction in mortgage, making the home affordable to the homeowner. Currently, we are tracking over 400 mortgage fraud cases in the federal court system. The ones that have been settled out of court and the files sealed, which means all parties involved signed confidentiality documents that prevent any discussion of any details of the case and settlement amount. Recently, there have been contract law cases that have yielded settlements exceeding $1 million on a $150,000 house. The company has come up with two winning options for homeowners. Option number one: if the homeowner's goals are to keep the property, we will arrange for them to stay in the house at a price they can afford. We will pay all the legal fees necessary to litigate their foreclosure on the state and federal level. We will insure the property to keep them safe from additional lawsuits, and we will bring a lawsuit against the lender at our expense for any fraud violations and divide any financial award or settlement with the homeowner. Option two: if the homeowner has already left the property, has no intention of keeping the property, we will lease the property from the homeowner even if they owe more than what it is worth. We will manage the property, taking away the headaches and frustration. We will pay all the legal fees necessary to litigate the foreclosure on the state and federal level. We will insure the property to keep it safe from additional lawsuits, and we will bring a lawsuit against the lender at our expense for any fraud violations and divide any financial award or settlement with the homeowner. Our company is backed by attorneys who focus on foreclosure defense and lender fraud. Most attorneys in this area are very inexperienced. Okay, so now that I've discussed the current situation and how we got to where we're at, let me discuss the options available to homeowners, and let's discuss the $500 referral fee to the realtors. The most valuable opportunity here is the ability to help your friends, family, and clients save their home. I want you to think about something for a second. If you're the realtor who helped these clients save their home when they thought there was no options available to them, do you think that person will ever forget you? Do you think that you'd probably be their realtor for life? Well, you're exactly right. Not to mention the amount of time that you'll save by not having to deal with the frustrations and time consumption involved with short sales. There's no headaches with this program, and depending on the outcome of the case, the mortgage will be reduced enough to either sell the house, or best case scenario, the homeowner will receive a large settlement, and they'll probably want to sell the house to upgrade to a better house. The Realtor Referral Program is an amazing opportunity because we know that there's millions of people in a distressed situation. For every client that signs up, the realtor will be paid $500 referral fee and will be encouraged to stay in contact with the homeowner to maintain that lifelong relationship with your client. I can tell you from experience that when you help someone who thinks that they have no options and you come along and save their home, they will never forget you. And the feeling that you get makes it all worth it. We've all heard of clients for life, but this really does create not only clients for life, but friends as well. If you're interested in signing up or you'd like more information, fill out the form and I will contact you back personally to discuss the program in greater detail. Or check out the website, usaforeclosureassistance.com. Again, thank you very much for your time, and I'd also like to thank Anthony for letting me share this opportunity with my fellow realtors. Have a great day.